is back on Fubo Sports Network. Follow us on all social media at Fubo Sports. Welcome on into Ball is Back, College Hoops Edition. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks, and I could not be more excited for the NCAA tournament to finally get underway. The madness that March brings us fans cannot be replicated. But what's it like for the student athletes that are grinding it out for a month? And joining me now on the program is a former UConn Husky star and current WNBA Rookie of the Year, Crystal Dangerfield. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. We know that you have a lot of experience with the madness that is March, with the NCAA tournament, playing for UConn and playing in 3 different Final Four appearances, and we know 2020 was a year that you didn't play, and we'll get to that in just a second. But right now, what were some of your memories, the moments from making it to the Final Four 3 straight years?
The Final Four is unlike any other tournament I've ever been to. The way that we're treated the second we step down in the state, wherever state it's in, how we transport and everything else, the atmosphere is unbelievable. The fans are already there. The arena is beautiful. It's breathtaking. They have gifts for you waiting when you get there. And then the feels of, you're close to a championship is indescribable.
And especially being a UConn Husky, like there's so much prestige and there's just so much of a following and the history with it. How do you live up to the hype?
It can get overwhelming if you pay attention to that piece of it. If you take everything, day by day, month by month, and even just year by year, bringing it up, because the team that goes into the NCAA tournament is not the team from years past. So you want to take care of business and, focus on yourself as best as you can.
And last year, as we all know, in 2020, there was no tournament, and this was also sort of compounded by the same time, really everything in the world sort of shutting down because of the coronavirus pandemic. Tell me what it was like from a player's perspective when you found out, first it was no fans, then there is no tournament. What it was like from your perspective, just, dissecting all of this information and realizing you weren't going to be able to play.
At first, for me, no fans, I'm like, all right, as long as we still get to play. But the real gut punch was obviously hearing that the tournament had been canceled. And we all pretty much, figured it would be coming because they had shut down postponed the NBA schedule the rest of their season. So we kind of knew that it would be a trickle-down effect. And we had the discussion with our coaches, I think the day of. We practiced that morning. And he told us, Coach Ryan told us that we were going to practice until they told us that we couldn't anymore. And then later that afternoon, the news broke. And like I said, it was a gut punch. It was a numb feeling for me because that was my last chance to win a national championship after going 0-3 for the last 3 years. So it hit hard.
For this particular team this year, let's look at the fact that Paige Bueckers has been incredible and has been the heartbeat of this team and, sort of the heir apparent to perhaps Crystal Dangerfield. And when you watch her play, what is something that stands out that makes her unique, that that maybe she could become one of the greatest of all time?
What she's doing, I'm not surprised by. I think the way she plays the game, how much fun she has with it, how much confidence she has in herself, and it trickles down to the rest of the team, and I think that's why they're so comfortable out there and making what you would think would be a hard year, making it look so easy. Even if they did have the setback at the beginning of the season, I think she's given them a lot of confidence. Go for it if they're struggling a little bit, to get them an easy bucket. Keep the energy going for them, and that's going to be important going into the NCAA tournament.
Still so much more to come with Crystal Dangerfield, Donnie Marshall, and Richard Jefferson. This is Ball is Back, College Hoops Edition. Ball is back on Fubo Sports Network. Follow us on all social media at Fubo Sports. Ball is back, and we're in full court press with Richard Jefferson, Donnie Marshall, and Crystal Dangerfield, who is back with me now. when we do look at the bubble, we mentioned the WNBA. You, of course, congratulations, get Rookie of the Year honors. And you not only were able to accomplish that, but you did do it in a pandemic. What were some of the additional challenges for being able to get this illustrious award?
I would say like all the time. I think like after week 3, everyone was ready to go. It was just a lot, being in the same place for that long, seeing everybody doing the same things. But just to translate, go in the middle of March, your season is shut down. You don't get to finish out the tournament. You're sent home thinking you're going to be only home for 2 weeks, and for spring break, and they're like, okay, no, you're not coming back at all. Just stay where you're at. The draft happens, and that's changed where it's online. We're not getting to go to New York. Mm-hmm. And then we don't get the original training camp that everyone else has gotten. So we're, flying up to our cities, at a weird time, only there for like a week or so. We fly down, and, I think we had like a week and a half. So that's to prepare, get to know our teammates, and go play. Wow. And we're playing against pros. So they've been doing this for years. They know how it goes. And it was just, by fire. Go see what you can do. Go see what you're made of. And it just happened, really.
Yeah, and you mentioned the draft, and for you, you were the lowest picked draft pick to win Rookie of the Year award. What is there any sense of sort of accomplishment in the idea that like you're able to prove the other teams that passed on you wrong when you're able to win that award?
Looking back on it, I'm glad I went to where I went. It wasn't really so much about the pick for me. It was just where I wanted to go. Where I fit best, and Minnesota was the best possible fit. It's a credit to what my coaching staff did for me, my teammates, and things like that. So as much as it is an individual award, it's a team award. We were able to win games, and that was the most important thing to me. So
right, and with Minnesota Lynx and with the WNBA, not only were you guys dealing with the pandemic, but we mentioned, the term the second pandemic, when everything was happening in America in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, and the WNBA really stood up and took a stand. What were the conversations, and this is of course in against criminal injustice and against racial inequality, what were the conversations in the locker room amongst the players for Black Lives Matter?
Just making sure that message, the message that we had at the beginning of the season wasn't going to get lost as we continue to play games. I know our team specifically, we were having, conference calls, Zoom calls with our mayor back in Minnesota, the head of the chief of police here, and we were having conversations with them asking what we could do to be of service once we were able to come back to Minnesota. And hopefully we can get to some of that action this summer. So it was just making sure that we were staying proactive, staying loud with our voices. We didn't want anything to be covered up. And there was another incident while we were playing, and so we took a day of just to remember the people that have been silenced and be the voice for them.
Yeah, it's very powerful. And I mean, I know a number of other leagues took their lead from what the WNBA was doing and what so many of the members and the women that were doing, that were standing up for this. What do you think then, as a collective, as a team, you guys would like to do to sort of help keep that message going so that it doesn't get lost in, we have, a new year and a new season and new problems, but we still do have this problem in America and in the rest of the world, of course?
I'm just hoping that we're able to, be in market, be in Minnesota, and engage our fans as well. Because of course, everything last year, it had to be over social media. We're not really going outside due to the pandemic. So being able to be in our communities and engage people that way, and hopefully our team will be able to put something together to bring out enough people, safely, of course, to keep that message going.
Well, Crystal, we appreciate everything that you've done on and off the court. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Ball is Back. That's Crystal Dangerfield, former UConn Huskies star, current WNBA Rookie of the Year for the Minnesota Lynx. Ball is Back on Fubo Sports Network. Follow us on all social media at Fubo Sports.